double checking the channels that I'm on just to make sure I'm not on any of the wrong channels right now. Good morning, everybody. Appreciate you watching. Getting my chat set up here so I can glance up, look at the comments. Always appreciate you watching. I'm going to be working on the comic strip today. I actually went live on my personal TikTok this morning. So, okay. Getting set up here, and I'll show you what I'm up to today. Also got to shut off a couple of programs that might be draining me. Alright, TikTok chat's up. Going live on Instagram now. Great. All right, cool. Awesome. This is the VeeFriends daily comic stream. What's up over on Twitch? Hopefully this feed stays up and you can see. It's been black over on Twitch. I don't know why, but good morning, Twitch. Otherwise, we're on live on all the other VeeFriends channels. On TikTok, Instagram, we're on YouTube, everywhere. Instagram, hello. I'm DJ Coffman. I'm the cartoonist here at VeeFriends. Today I'm going to be drawing a new comic strip and also working on something a little special here to get started. Our character of the week is Adventurous Astronaut. We're doing like a character of the week kind of theme about adventure. We'll talk about that. I also got to get my mini. My go-to mini, VeeFriends mini, is the Humble Hedgehog. Got to get him on the pencil here. He's my lucky, makes my drawings better. What's up? Morning over on. Thanks for the follow, Dave, over on TikTok. I see TikTok. Got to get all my chats up here so I can see you guys. Morning. Whatever, Clemhouse Art, would I ever want help or to collab? Possibly. I mean, I don't know. Let's see. Send me a DM or something with your artwork, I guess. We're always open to conversations and things. All right, just making sure my chats are all up so I can just glance up and see you guys. Appreciate you watching. What I'm working on right here is not the daily comic strip. It's actually an activity sheet. So I'll explain this. It's going to be at some conventions and things. And it'll be like a coloring sheet for kids. But then I thought, beyond a coloring sheet, what I want to do is have it, you know, you can color it, but also have the pencil version, so like people can ink it and then you can write in your own script for what's happening at the end. So that's what I'm going to be working on. This is due today, so I'm going to get this finished up here real quick and then we'll work on the daily comic strip. Anyways, like I was saying, our character of the week is Adventurous Astronaut. You may have seen him cruising around helping these youngsters and oldsters, I guess, figure out their this was yesterday's comic, I believe. It was received pretty well. Girl stuck in kind of a small town. Let's review some of the comics real quick. If you're not checking these out, especially over on Instagram, make sure you are going and liking the comics. I appreciate it. Really appreciate you doing that, and it helps us. It helps us grow. Hey Mary, how's it going? Let's see here. I need to get this chat a little bit different, just a little bit different, so I can see where I'm at. Great. So this was yesterday's comic strip. I like to just kind of look at them. In this one, he's kind of like pulled this girl up and out of the town to kind of just say like, hey, right over there, just miles away, are amazing adventures and new friends await. If you're stuck in a town or a city or wherever you're stuck, there's different things right beyond where you're at. Thanks for popping in and watching for a little bit. Oh my god, there's so much to do. People were excited about Rip's cards and games. If you're new to VeeFriends, real quick, why don't we just get into this? VeeFriends is over 280 characters created by Gary Vaynerchuk, which is why it's called VeeFriends. Right? We have the compete and collect trading card game. I accidentally clicked that, but there you go. Lots of collectible cards. If you look that up on eBay, there's people buying, selling them. We've got the minis, which are in the vending machines across the country. There's a map for this on there on the website VeeFriends.com. You can check that out. And then just about everything, all the characters I mentioned are in alphabetical order, all 280 of them. And if we click the Adventurous Astronaut, he's the character of the week. You can learn a little bit about him. We can actually see the comics that he's in and tagged in so far on the website. There's an original video of Gary drawing the very first version 1 Adventurous Astronaut. There's some merch if you want to buy a t-shirt or a hoodie. And then up here, if you want to read all the other comics, Comic Corner, you're going to get a complete archive of comics all the way back from January when we started. So this is the Daily Comic Strip. I'm DJ Coffman. Hello, good morning. I hope you have your coffee. Hope you're having a chill morning so far. And this is my job, so you're here hanging out with me for a little bit. I don't know how long I'll be live until they kick me off, probably. So let's get into this view here. Kind of like, yeah, let's go with this view for right now. Or I like, wait, hold on. Okay. This view is what I like for right now. All right. I'll try to look at the chat occasionally. Name them layers. Hey, man. Listen, it's fast paced. If I slowed down to name all the layers, comics never get done. I agree, though. I used to have a friend that watched me draw on the live streams, and he couldn't stand that my layers were just like, all different groups here. So yeah, so this is an activity sheet for anyone at the shows that we'll be doing. Maybe we'll have it online too, but probably at the shows. How many comics are there? There's a lot, over 100, 125, something like that now. I wish I was in a comic book. I could maybe draw you in the comic strip. I don't know how we would organize that, but I've been doing a lot of random people. So, all right, let's. I'm just gonna tighten up this. Let's go on layer here. See, like I gotta move fast. If I stopped and said I want to name this layer for pencils, I'm not doing that for myself. Believe me, even if I labeled the layers in my drawings, it would still mess up. Hey, what's up, Tenacious Toys over on? I'm gonna tighten in these. I'm trying to tighten in these chats so I can see all 3 chats from Instagram, TikTok. Yeah, I just showed the archive over on VeeFriends.com. Let's just go there. You can see VeeFriends.com. Over in the corner, there's the comic corner, and it's got all of the comics. You can click a comic, read it, download a pretty high resolution version of it. Of course, I'd love you to share it with your friends. And each one, it should be tagged. So if you want to see all the characters or all the comics with YOLO Yak in it, here's all the comics with YOLO Yak. And we'll just keep building this out over time. So appreciate you reading it. We post to the socials every day too, around 8:30. The new comic should be out. I haven't checked. We can look here in a minute. But again, what I'm working on right here is not a comic strip per se. This one here is more of an activity sheet where we're gonna have, anyone that wants to. I'm gonna give them an old school little drafting table here. Be able to color it, finish it, and I thought, wow, that could be even interesting over here, and I'm gonna work on it here in a minute. I'll show you exactly what I'm doing. Check back in, pop in and out if you gotta, get to work or whatever. Pop back a little bit later. I'll be live here for a couple hours, and this one will be black and white. Some people say, like, well, why do you draw it 3 times? The roughs are just to give me an idea of composition or the layout of the panel and the overall feel and pose, and it's kind of like molding it. And then this stage here, I'm just tightening up the lines, and I'm actually going to go back over and do this again. But since this is for a coloring, more of a, we want kids to color on this. I'm going to do some really bold, open lines, maybe a little bit bigger than I normally would, to allow kids to have more to color, or adults, like colored pencils or whatnot. So this is sort of like a collab with us, sort of finish this comic sheet. Hey, thanks for the follow, Jamie. You're in Australia. Got a lot of Australian people on the stream the past few days. If you're familiar, are you new to VeeFriends? If you're still watching, let me know if you're new to VeeFriends. Curious. I'm always curious to have a conversation later as well, or whenever. If you want to tell me your favorite VeeFriends in the chat, say hello. Tell me your favorite VeeFriend, or if you're new to VeeFriends. Maybe you're an artist watching. There's a lot of artist friends that I have that watch. Speaking of, Dan over on YouTube. Good morning, Dan. Jamie's new. He's in the Discord server, he says. Just trying to learn it all. That's cool. I would say for new people watching, and this is, how I describe it to my friends that don't know anything about VeeFriends, would be, first and foremost, there's a lot of collectibles and a lot of characters and traits and stuff, but we've kind of built a really strong community of positive people that are using these traits to make their own lives better, but also the world around them. Sorry for the motorcycle outside my window. It's revving up their motorcycle out there. And so we have people using the traits of the characters. Here I'm drawing Flex and Fox, which we learn. What can we learn from Flex and Fox, Each of the characters we think of internally, and we hope externally soon. Like, we want you to think of, we're doing some storytelling here as far as each character has on their best day and on their worst day. So Flex and Fox on their worst day, you know, he's buying $55 bagels. We see that in the comic strip. But it's not just a negative thing. Sometimes, like Gary will say, you need to treat yourself because you work hard. And, you know, do you need to brag about it? Probably not. But sometimes you need to flex a little bit, right? Like sometimes it's not so bad to kind of give yourself a little self-confidence and like flex on yourself a little bit, right? Patron over on YouTube says, huge fan of you, DJ. Thank you. Appreciate that. Why are you? I always want to like be like, why are you a huge fan of me? Is VeeFriends still associated with the NFT? Yes. There's still plenty of version 2s and version 1s out there being traded, and you know, NFT world's a little I like personally and think of it as like digital collectibles and access in a community. So definitely not dead, but you know, if you know anything about NFTs and digital collectibles, you know that it's been kind of a rocky road for most. But we're still committed to having that be the, you know, the NFTs and the digital launch of VeeFriends. Those are like the, I don't know, like trying to remember the words are escaping me, but like the crown jewel of VeeFriends art are those version 1s that people own. So, you know, when this is huge, when this is big like Disney or whatever in the future, and I'm just speculating here, but I'm just because I believe in the project and I work on it, but I do believe it with all my heart. Like, I think that those, you know, 20 years from now, it won't be anything to have a digital collectible and transverse digital to physical. I mean, you know, there's a lot of little tests and little neat trinkets and things now, but it's very new to people still. But 20 years from now, it'll just be like, oh, of course, I have the new Spider-Man NFTs, and yeah, it's still there. It's just our focus needs to be, you know, my focus, because they're focused across a lot of things inside VeeFriends. My focus here with the comics and the animations and things is to tell the stories and get people to love, you know, to learn about Flexing Fox and like, what does that mean? It's more than just a trading card. You know, what can we learn from our friend here, Flexing Fox? So, or what can we learn from Humble Hedgehog? I'll restate because a couple people ask what I'm doing. Right now, I draw the comic strip. This is not the actual comic strip. What I'm drawing here, this is more of an activity sheet that will allow people of all ages to color in at conventions or whatever, or like a little surprise and delight, a little 2-panel comic, and then you get to finish it. You get to write in the letters and ink it up and stuff like that. So I'm just working on a little bit of this art that's due today for the events crew. And you'll probably be able to snag one of these out at some of the upcoming events that haven't really been, you know, announced yet, but there's one coming impending real soon. Like real soon, any day now. I'll be able to talk more about that. Any day now. And of course we'll have VCon. I don't know to what capacity. I'm sure I'll be drawing there in some capacity, some way. Wherever they want to put me and draw, you know, hey, I'll draw anywhere. See, I'm not gonna put that as black because kids and whatever may color it. But yeah, we have Humble Hedgehog here. Same thing. We think of, every time I think of the character, I just kind of listen to Gary's guidance in my head as far as each character has the extreme sides. What does it mean to be humble? On a good day, you're just being humble, but you know, sometimes you can be a little too humble and let the world walk over you and become a doormat. See, I'm just thinking that off the top of my head. I know that from my own personal life, you know. You can't let people walk all over you. It's okay not to like want to flex and take. That's why I think these two characters work really well together, Flex and Fox and Humble Hedgehog. I feel like they're maybe like best VeeFriends or something. It's okay to not let people walk all over you. But then it's also okay for Humble Hedgehog to tell Flex and Fox to cool it, dude. Nobody cares about your new gadget or, you know, your chain. Yeah. So if you have any questions or whatever, cream? Timothy Graves, I don't know what cream means. Awesome. Thanks. I'm drawing on an iPad Pro in Procreate. Someone has that. The app is Procreate, not the device. I'm going to look at your questions occasionally. What's up? Yeah, I'm sorry about the Twitch. I should just turn the Twitch off. I don't know why the video is not pumping into Twitch. You can hear but not see. That's so weird. I can't control that. Something between OBS and Twitch is not driving. I'm gonna go ahead and just turn off the Twitch stream. If you want to watch, it's over on X, and I hate to just have it black over there. I'll turn that off. We'll have to figure that out. It's beyond me. Alright, Twitch is off. Sorry. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. MF Satya. MF Satya over on YouTube. Morning. Yeah, so on these streams, I'll just kind of stream out loud, stream of consciousness, but mostly about the characters. In this case, this is an activity sheet that I'm drawing right now for the comic, and the setup is that Humble Hedgehog doesn't know what to draw for the comic strip for the day. I want to see something real quick here. Zoom in on our man here. Okay. And since it's a coloring sheet, I want to make sure I define the lines that kids would want to, or adults, kids, adults, all that. Would color in. Then we'll ink this up real smooth. But yeah, sometimes I'll jump into answering questions or love my hat. What is the primary platform community is watching on? Probably the current community is X. You know, Twitter. There's probably quite a few. I can't really see the live numbers. Instagram and TikTok as well. Hey, TikTok, I forgot about the chat over on TikTok. Where am I at? Here. But most of our community is on X, the existing community, but there's quite a lot of people watching on Instagram off and on. So personally, I prefer YouTube. That's just my personal preference, but working that in there. Change his eye concerned. We'll give him a little stool here. Yeah. Love my hat. Thank you. Very Pittsburgh thing. Good morning, Blockfather. Over on TikTok. Okay, so we got that. That'll be good to ink up. So in this panel, I want it to just be black and white line art, very thick, so that people can color it or add their own, you know, background stuff. Might even make Fox a little bit bigger because the size is limited, so I might just grab him up. Let's just make him up as big as we can in the foreground. That's good. Okay. Sweet. A couple questions over from YouTube. Do you have a favorite character you like to draw? I do like to draw Flex and Fox, and I like to draw Humble Hedgehog, probably because Humble Hedgehog, Flex and Fox, Alert Ape, they're just fun to draw. Like, they're just, I can draw them doing anything at this point. But my cop-out is to say I like to draw the one that I'm drawing at the moment. We can see today's comic. I think it's probably up. If not, we'll see. We've got today's comic. Let's look at it. Bare minimum Bob here's read the newspaper, because as one does. Maybe he's the only person reading the newspaper. It seemed very fitting that he would be. So today's comic is, have you ever seen a UFO? Like in the New York Times article. He's reading the fake New York Times here. Also, there's an ad for Gary's book on the back. Just throw that on there. Day Trading Attention. Available now. My copy's downstairs, actually. I was reading it this morning. Do you think it's aliens or definitely aliens? 100%. Adventurous astronaut is very sure. By the way, he's got his little mug, and if you look closely, there's a headline here that says, "How does astronaut drink from that?" Also, there's a headline that says, "Helicopter parent crashes." So there's a little hidden. So he's like, how do you know for sure that aliens are real? Well, they're always borrowing my phone. Wild yak on the loose. See a little hand coming in here grabbing. This character seems to have middle fingers. I'm sorry. You know, it's not intended. I guess they can't get one in their own name, and they have this constant need to phone home. And this is our impeccable Inistranet, which is like a Russian alien. And do you know what he's saying there in Russian? If you know what he's saying in Russian, drop it in the chat. So it's a cute little fun one, you know. We're usually doing like deeper, you know, we do some deeper ones about, you know, friendship, and Comfort Zone was a good one too. You're going to see this here in a minute too, because I'm going to be working on a comic that's very similar in tone to that. But I just wanted to, first things first, because this is due for me today, was this activity sheet. So let's go ahead and just ink up this first panel here. Get right into it. Deception Cave of Collectibles. You drew this? I did. I did draw this. And I drew this. And I drew all of these. And I drew all of these. And I drew all of these. It's pretty insane. So you always have Humble Hedgehog and Flex and Fox hanging out together. This is the daily comic strip. It comes out. Are you new to VeeFriends? Deception Cave of Collectibles. Yeah, there's quite a few. It's a daily comic strip. It adds up. You might not have seen them all, but that's a good opportunity for you to go back and look through the archive on the VeeFriends.com website. I'll be out at some shows in the summer here, so I'm working on this activity sheet right now for kids and for adults, everybody, because it's actually more for all ages. Kids will like to color it, but also I know I'm making it so that people could write too, like you can finish up the dialogue yourself. Thought that might be fun activity to do. So I'm working on that real quick here. I want to have a little more like fun, engaging back and forth. Not bad. Draw Mentor, thanks. Appreciate you watching. Try to check the chats occasionally. I'm gonna get my head down here and get to working. I won't be at Fan Expo Dallas, but they're gonna be announcing some show real quick, real soon. So we'll see how the shows go as well. So it's really the first year that, besides New York Comic Con, that VeeFriends is getting out to, like, I think they did Collecticon Houston, and Kansas City's coming up. They're listed on the website there, so can't really talk too much about that part. They should be announcing some stuff any day, any minute, maybe today. Who knows? All right. Let's get into inking this. Appreciate you watching and hanging out. If you have a favorite VeeFriend, let me know in the chat. I'm on the wrong layer here. There we go. In this case, I just want to do thick, bold, smooth lines. Like a coloring book. Something like that. But beyond, VeeFriends has a lot of collectibles out there, but beyond the collectibles are the mission, to make lives better, self-discovery, Gary's new book has a lot about being a creator and working on your own content. This is basically Gary's passion project, VeeFriends. He's investing a lot of time and money into building this for the rest of his life, so intellectual property is very important, whether it's a story or your own personal brand. something that you can own. And also, beyond making money, philanthropy and changing the world a bit, is a good vibe. So yeah, I hope you check out the comics, like them, share them. We've had some people say, hey, I don't have a lot of money or to buy the digital collectibles or the trading cards or something, but you don't need money to be a part of the community. You can get in here and think and consume the content that we're putting out. It's free. The comics are free. You can read them, enjoy them, share them. It's a great way to support VeeFriends and make someone else's day a little bit brighter. Whether it's a smile or maybe it motivates you to kind of make a change in your life. Or maybe you take that next step in whatever your motivation is. Are you on the new iPad Pro? I'm not. I went to go look at the new iPad Pros over the weekend, and I just, there wasn't really anything in there that was singing to me. Like, I gotta have this, This is probably the M1 iPad Pro that I'm on. It's a trusty device. I have no real need for the new. I'll probably do it at some point, but I'd probably only upgrade my iPad due to like battery life or storage space, which this one has 2 terabytes, so I barely even scratched the surface. I have hundreds, maybe 1,000 drawings on this, into the thousands. Sure of it. And I'm barely scratching the surface with it because I don't do any video on this iPad Pro. Morning Corso. Yeah, iPad Pros are solid, no need to upgrade. Not really. I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think my first iPad Pro, I sold it when I upgraded to the one before this one. And my first iPad Pro, an art friend in town still has it, and his kid brings it to the drawing nights that we have. We have a drawing club. And he still brings that old iPad there, and it works great. Original Apple Pencil, all that. Because Procreate, the drawing apps, are pretty much, low. I don't want to say low energy because I was just thinking like, it seems that my new iPad definitely, or this iPad is the new version of Procreate is what I'm trying to say, is draining the battery a lot faster. It's not the iPad itself, it's actually Procreate. Seems to be draining the battery a bit on the upgrade of Procreate. So my battery won't last as long, but I've had this iPad I bought it 2020, so I've had it for almost 3 years. Summer of 2020, I think it came out. So So it's a good investment. I try to tell artists, you know, it's a little expensive at first, but like the amount of work that I've gotten out of this, also the paid work that I've done on my iPad Pro, it's definitely paid for itself over and over again. If you're a commercial artist, and the amount of time that it'll save being a digital. You know, I'm still spending quite a bit of time, but I come from a traditional background of cartooning and, you know, scanning and all that stuff from original art. Or there's people that say like, well, you should have your original art. Why don't you have any originals? And I'm like, well, I do. I have years worth of original artwork on paper in my garage, just sitting there. I've saved it forever. And, you know, most of it's not that great. And I can't really see many people wanting it. It's basically just me lugging it around. I've been told not to get rid of it, so I just keep it out there. But now that I've moved to digital years ago, I still draw on paper, but I will draw on paper occasionally. But not like a comic strip or something for like full production. I won't do that. You know. The OG work is not, I mean, you might find it fascinating. All artists are going to look back at their old artwork and be like, ooh, this is bad. Trust me, you have to put in, a lot of it was the time that I put in where I wasn't a professional, you know. And even some of my early professional work from like the late 90s, it's, you know, but you gotta put that content out there. You gotta get those pages out. You gotta get those reps in. So, and even now, it's not like I'm a master cartoonist or anything. I'm just pretty darn good at it now. But just zooming out to see. Again, this is an activity sheet that will be out at some shows for people to collab on, like a virtual collab on a 2-panel comic here with us. You get to finish the comic yourself. So I'm making this one more like a little bolder lines, a little more interesting, maybe a little smoother than I would normally do, I think. Or line consistency, bold line consistency. Trying to keep my pressure on my iPad brush. I want to fill this in with black, but I'm not going to because this is a coloring panel, so people can color this panel in with whatever they want with the Crayola markers or Crayola crayons or whatnot. Even making Fox's chain just a little bit bigger. Morning, Megan. Morning, Ben. What is a good Android option if one were wanting to start digitally drawing? My friend draws on a his name's Barry Link. He draws on a Samsung Galaxy, Plus, he draws on his cell phone. Like it's like an oversized cell phone. Yeah, Megan, maybe we'll make this available to download for people. We've had people ask, but it was also part of our plan anyways to have I thought a coloring sheet, I can do those. I can do coloring books and stuff too. Those are pretty, we'll do that as well, but I thought, how can we collaborate on a comic virtually together? And so I'm doing this one. As that. So on this side, you'll be able to color this panel in, like do coloring, and on this panel, you'll be able to write in your own captions of what's happening. And then I'll probably ink Hedgehog with the, I'm gonna ink Hedgehog here with black lines. And I think I'm gonna make him pencil, like a light blue pencil, Empathy Elephant, and it's gonna be like you can ink it and color it and then write it in. And then this will be a dotted line, like a faded dotted line speech balloon, so that you can write in whatever who's saying it. Is it Hedgehog saying the line? There's a million different possibilities. And then it'd be nice if people will, like, at shows take pictures of like what they did or share online their collab with us. And you can sign your name right up here. You put your name right there. It's like working on a comic with us. I thought it was a fun idea to do. Morning over on Instagram. How are you guys? Just scrolling back through. Miranda Lee said she could fall asleep to this. It's so soothing. Wake up. Wake up. Plus it's like early in the morning here, right? It's only like 9:19. 9:19 in the morning. If you're new to VeeFriends, let me know in the chat. If you're vibing with VeeFriends, let me know. Let me know what your favorite VeeFriend is. What the favorite part of what is your favorite part of VeeFriends? The community, like the whole brand. What is your favorite part of VeeFriends? And let me know. I like to talk about it. Think about it. Give him a little bit of a bigger belt. I'm gonna go bigger. Now that I know people might be coloring this in. So make it a little bit bigger. Yeah, it's again, this isn't the comic strip for the day. This is an activity sheet that we'll have available probably at shows primarily, but I'll talk to the team. Maybe if we like it enough, we can put it out. I want it to be special, something that you get when you come to a show and see us. Whether that's CollectCon or VCon or some other show that we might announce, Nothing has really been officially announced, but making plans. What's the name of the brush I'm using? This one is called Smooth Train. I made it for when I was on the train to New York. I wanted just a little bit more stability than my regular brush. My regular inking brush is like more like a Pentel pen brush. This was a little a little more organic. And this one just has a little bit more stability for smoothing of the line to help keep it smooth. Sometimes I want that rough look, and sometimes I want it, smooth. I don't want a mono line, if you know what I'm talking about. Like a line that never changes in variation, because that's boring. That makes your artwork look kind of boring. I want to have some depth. I don't understand what happened. Should have filled in there. Let's see. Fill it in manually, I guess. I like to do this thing too, where I just it's all got a little shine. It's nice. Yeah, Megan, another idea that I had was just to kind of release some of the most popular comics, the black and white version, and let artists color them. So that's probably pretty easy to do. I don't know how we'll release it, but some kind of download or something. Again, I want to keep this. Why is it doing that? Do I have a reference layer on somewhere? I do. No. Reference layers off. Reference layers off. Okay. Now we go. Now we got it. That's too much. Let's wait. My brush is way too big now. Eraser brushes. Yeah. I like the varying thickness of lines from thin to thick. It's what I gravitate towards. That's the type of cartoons that I like. But I'm also open to different styles. I can draw in a lot of different styles, but it's one of those things, just like your content or whatever you're putting out. You can learn a lot about a lot of things, but you want to lean into what you're really good at. Because I love science fiction comics. I liked working on some, Marvel trading cards and things like that, and doing fan art. That's cool. I do a pretty good job with that. But whenever I'd consult, but I never could quite, I never got on a Marvel book or anything like that. I probably could have if I really would have applied myself, but I probably deep down didn't really want to. So when I talk to my creator friends, and I have so many creator friends now that are big consultants for big creators and stuff, and I'm just happy to know them as friends. And even now having Gary as a friend and the VeeFriends crew, they all say the similar things about you need to lean into your strengths, have that self-awareness of this is what I'm good at. It might not be what I want to be or what I wish I was, but I'm good at this, right? So, and you can develop your other stuff that you want to do, but I can never really, being self-aware of going okay, my art would and make it in a Marvel monthly comic book back then. It would have been quite a lot of work, and the people that I knew that worked for Marvel really weren't happy. And it's kind of a machine that churns you out, you know, like my friend Ernie Steiner drew for Marvel, doing Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., and like he actually lost his job because they said like, oh, you know, he's old. He was in his 50s. They were always looking for like the new young hot artist, and now it seems like they hire a lot of people just from overseas to keep the labor costs down and stuff like that. But, like the big guys, we got Greg Capullo, one of my favorite artists working at Marvel. He's the top dog, you know, like he's awesome. So they've got their top tier talent there at Marvel. But I enjoy that stuff, and some of my heroes are Jack Kirby, and you know, I love all that stuff. But when I really boiled it down, talking to my creator friends and getting advice and doing some coaching and stuff like that, what I really loved doing deep down, my real passion was comic strips and cartooning. It just comes to me more naturally, and you know, you struggle against that stuff sometimes. Like, I don't know why I couldn't just, maybe as a creator you're like I want to do more, or like society, maybe it was like, that was my problem with cartoon strips. I was like, oh, cartoon strips, no one's gonna want that. I'm really passionate about it, but no one's gonna want it because it's like newspaper strips are dead. And you know, that was my perception based on what the world around me was saying, but actually that was false, because there are a lot of people that love it, and it's still a booming industry. It's still I mean, look, the Garfield movie is coming out, right? There's a lot of comic strips that you'll never hear of that are still online and in the daily newspapers. Rose is Rose, and like there's quite a few others. I'm starting to like pay more attention to the new comic strips that are out there. Comics are not dead, you know? So that's the story of, kind of part of the story about how I got this job was I was leaning into my own YouTube content, and I was just going to start making my own comic strips again, even when I had my day job. And I wanted to talk about the craft of making comics and cartooning and storytelling with 4 panels. And I didn't care anymore because my friends had stoked me up. My creator friends were like, who cares, DJ? Just do it. Like, just do it, man, because you love it. Like, do it because you love it. And I'm like, yeah, let's go. And so I got home. I was sick from the convention. You know, I caught a bad cold, let's say. The bad cold. I caught the bad cold. We used to call it the convention flu, the con flu. And I was sick, and saw the post at like 2 a.m. from Gary that said he was hiring a comic strip artist and writer, and I was like, oh, I could do that. And I knew from listening to Gary for so many years, and other people like Gary, that I needed to take action. I didn't want to sit around and think about it. So I just went in. I went in on it, and started live streaming immediately. Like, I was like, all right, I'm going to live stream my sample process for VeeFriends. And it got the attention of some VeeFriends staff, which led to the president seeing it, Andy, AK. And he's like, you want to have a meeting? And that was it. So I was reading the new Gary Day Trading Attention book. And there's a lot of stories like this, you know, like read Day Trading Attention. I only just started reading it because it came in the mail yesterday. But talks about the story of Dogface, the guy with the ocean spray thing. He almost didn't post that, him skateboarding. That one piece of content changed his life. In my case, that one live stream, or that couple live streams I did in the middle of the night, definitely changed the trajectory of my life. No doubt. And all those years I had worked on comics and stuff like that, and just build up my skills, prepared me for the moment that when I saw an opportunity and I thought, I can do that. I'm going to do that right now. There was no waiting. There was just, oh, okay. I didn't worry like, well, what if I don't get it? Like, what if I waste my time? Or what if it's a waste of time? I just thought, well, this will be fun. I can do this. And that energy, I think, kind of came through to the VeeFriends team. And still there. I can... It's so much fun to, think about this brand, and, they're entrusting me with, being live here talking to you, and that's not something I take lightly, It's a big responsibility to not only not say the wrong things, I'm not worried about that, but just know the brand enough to feel it and understand it. What up, Bronson? Over on YouTube. What's up? Let's see. I got some. Do I animate? Let me ask some questions here. I'll go through the chat a couple times. Thanks, Puppy Soul over on TikTok. This looks really good. This is an activity sheet for people to finish the comic, so I'll explain more about that in a minute. I should have this done pretty shortly. June asked, do I ever animate? No. I don't have the patience for animation, to be honest. I'm more of a comics guy. However, they are animating some of the comics now, which is really cool. You can check that out on Instagram. The animated version of our 555 fan strip. 5555 fan strip. What's your tip for someone who is new to Procreate? Just get in there and start. My biggest tip for Procreate is don't get stuck in the brushes. You'll play too much on all these brushes over here. There's thousands and thousands of brushes, and you'll never do any drawing. So I say pick a pencil, pick an ink, and pick a color brush, and just go. Just draw, and draw every day. Let's see, tips on taking time. Tips on taking your time. Let me think about context. Man, you gotta change that music. I'm gonna fall back to sleep. Hey, it's depicted films. We keep it chill here. You could fall asleep watching the stream and just give us more watch time hours, buddy. I do need to sorry, I missed what I said about Marvel and Stan Lee. I didn't see that. But Stan Lee, yeah, definitely. Hey, Jack Kirby, Jack Kirby kind of steered that ship, saved Marvel Comics, if you know your history. What do I think about Webtoons? The Webtoons platform, I've messed with it. As a matter of fact, when Webtoons first came to the US, they hired me to draw a little strip trying to entice my comic book friends or my webcomic friends to post to Webtoons, and I really liked it. I liked the scroll down format. They didn't invent it. It wasn't invented by Webtoons, and that comes out of Korea. The Webtoons format. My thoughts on webtoons are, I like the scroll down format, but I also think it's kind of limiting and it's kind of cheap to a certain extent, where it's just a lot of the like, I'm gonna draw a character falling for so long and then the speed. There's definitely a cool flow to it, but that's it. When you're locked into webtoon, it's very hard to convert it into a book or anything else besides being a webtoon. You're really locked to that format, and I don't like that. I don't like feel. I know people that are all in on webtoon format. My other thoughts on webtoon are the webtoon.com service, specifically the one that hired me. It got really weird editing wise. They were taking down a lot of my comics, saying that it was adult material, and I was like, I don't draw adult material. I don't even draw like over sexualized characters usually or anything like that at all. And basically some intern was editing the taking down comics out of my science fiction comic, when meanwhile they have like full on very adult stuff on there, that I wouldn't want my kid watching, my little kid watching. It's a more complex topics and things there. But yeah, I think it's different, webtoon. I actually think the 4-panel, or just panels stacked on top of each other can work just as fine on webtoon, the actual format. So reformatting the strips for webtoon and having a community there, but it's different. It's different for sure. How a company treats its creators is very important to me. So, personally. So. I'll leave it at that. Yeah. I will change the background music. This is the first time I was able to get the, you can't really hear it on TikTok probably. But the other streams, there's like some mellow lo-fi happening. I just grabbed the tracks real fast just to test it, and it worked. So I got to spend some time to make a longer track. I'd like some lo-fi hip hop. I don't like horns popping in. It just, for some reason, when there's a horn or like a synthesizer, it rattles my brain a little bit. So. Tips on taking my time. Sorry, I have a lot of thoughts on time, so I'm trying to like formulate how I would answer that exactly. Let me go through the questions or the chats real quick just to scan. I try to read all the comments. Do I have a better suggestion for what? Sorry, I missed that. It's 8:30 a.m. I'm trying to scroll back to see if you have another question in there. What do you think about webtoons? Okay. Do I have a better suggestion than webtoons? Okay. There's Tapas. Right? My suggestion for a webcomic format But I'm going to show you. I'm just going to show you real quick. We're talking comics. I'm going to show you. You're interested. Let's go back to... this is the VeeFriends comic. I believe in this 4-panel format. There's also a video I have on YouTube called The Future of Comics. Future of Comics. If you look that up on YouTube, you'll find it. But we go all the way back to me doing, adventure style comic strips. So if you're doing a science fiction or like something that's not a humor strip, you can get a lot done and I just did a black and white strip here. Not bad, it's pretty decent, but a lot of words. But I like the classic adventure strip format. And the cool thing about this is, this 1080 by 1350 frame can be used as a stacking tool. So this can be a slide in a carousel. This can also pop into I can't believe I don't have any of my own books. Come on. I don't have my own books over there. That's lame. What am I doing? So this format of 4 panels, right? This scales to be a carousel on an Instagram post or whatever you're doing, but it also can be put into a print book. This is an 8x10 8x10 book, right? This one's really decent. These were all full color when I did this one, but these were on Webtoon as well. As a matter of fact, I believe one of the comics where they deleted my post. There was a character, maybe it's not in here, like they would see something like this and they'd be like, oh, we gotta take that down, and that was not cool. It's like, because then if they take down one of your posts, it screws up the story, So like building blocks. Think of it like building blocks. And it works for just about any genre, In this case, with VeeFriends, we're doing, 4-panel classic comic strips. But I'm very inspired about the past of comics being like the future of comics. I love thinking about that stuff. Sorry, I went on a tangent, guys. I'll get back to drawing some VeeFriends now. But I really like comics as comics, and then they can become other things. That's fine. But it's something that people get backwards a lot. They're trying to sell a movie, or something like that. So they do their story first, but they don't do the story first. They just come up with the concept and sell their. It's worked for a few people. I worked for a publisher named Platinum that they sold Cowboys and Aliens without even a comic. They sold it with just a the cover of a comic cover, and then they sold a movie, and then they were like, oh no, now we have to make a comic book, and then they made the comic book secondary. I mean, it's really rare that happens. In that case, Scott Rosenberg, the publisher, had quite a bit of connections you know, he had quite a bit of, you know. Okay, so this is an activity sheet that I'm working on. I want this to say soon. I'm gonna get back to thinking about time. Time blocking is one thing I'll say to Janks over on TikTok. I do a lot of time blocking. I haven't been good at it lately, but blocking out some time for yourself just to draw or create or make content, and shutting off everything else, social media, all that. Start with a half an hour, build up to like 90-minute blocks. Get used to just doing just the thing that you said you were going to do for that little bit of time. And don't fall down the rabbit hole of social media. That happens all the time. It happens to me a lot lately because I'm studying a lot of stuff, and I got this big monitor in front of me, so like I can literally just fall down any rabbit hole. Thought wrong. The VeeFriends comic book that's coming out later this year. I wrote it, concepted it, found the artist for the interiors, and then J. Scott Campbell did the cover. So I'm doing technically the writing of it. Gotta do some lettering on it here and finish up the lettering. So it's a whole other, it's like more of an adventure, classic adventure comic sort of thing. Okay, so for this print version, I want a dark blue. And I want pencil brush. I want it real thick. Let's do a darker blue than that. Probably like that, that's perfect. J. Scott Campbell? J. Scott Campbell's, why does that sound familiar? Well, J. Scott Campbell's done a lot of stuff. He's an amazing artist. Works for Marvel a lot now for covers. He only does covers. What am I using to draw on? Hardware is a iPad Pro. It's just sitting in a case here. Oh look, here's Practical Peacock just hanging out down there. It's sitting in a Sketchboard Pro, just a little holder. The program is Procreate. Cover artist for a lot of things, J. Scott Campbell, but also, you know, he had his own comics for a while. It's a lot of work to put out your own comic. He had Danger Girl, which was a huge comic in the 90s. I got some in my attic. And, you know, yeah, behind the scenes we're doing a lot of story stuff, so, you know. Okay, so this part that I'm doing now, I've put on its own layer. It's going to be technically, you can write your own comic, or write your end of the comic. So what I want to do is I want to get a real bold blue line. Like this. And, you know, the idea here would be maybe fade that out a little bit. Thinking about it. One second. Like a non-photo blue. Does that look better? idea here is that you can make the characters saying whatever you want, and then ink the bubble whatever direction you've chosen. If you've chosen the fox saying something at the end of this comic, or our man humble hedgehog over here. Right, that's cool. And then I think I could probably just stick with this color for blue lining the empathy elephant back there. Yep. Let's see. I'm gonna scroll through just to make sure I didn't miss any comments. Love the Inns hat. Commonwealth Press over on the south side. Pittsburgh. Had to pick it up. If you know, you know. Okay, so it's gonna be too light. Maybe I should just do pencil. Yeah. Pencil. Trying this out. Blue line is what would be technically the when it prints, I want it to look like pencil line. That you'll ink over, if that makes sense. So I want them to still have the bold lines. That you can then ink and color yourself. Enough. It'll probably print a little darker too, so I'm gonna keep that in mind. I like that. I like it looking like pencil. Okay. I'm torn. I kind of feel like it should be blue. It caught me in a real moment of deciding. I think it's going to be blue. If you know anything about comics, there used to be the blue lines that you'd ink over with black ink. So that's what we're going to do. Let's just go ahead and do that again. I'm going to fade him way out so I can just... Again, this is an activity sheet. Just happens to be due today. It's fun. Little like help us finish the comic activity sheet. So in this one you can color it. In this one you can color him, probably color him. You'll be able to write your own caption in and ink it as well. Ink it and color it over here if you'd like. I thought that would be a fun, a fun activity to do. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't. It sounds fun to me. It's another thing I've kind of tried to do is like think about what are the types of things that I like to do, because I kind of feel like people the right people will gravitate towards things when you are doing something for the fun instead of like something for the market. Does that make sense? Am I just talking to myself? Needs to be thicker, 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 thicker. Do the main big lines. Don't want it to be very complicated. I don't want it to be too detailed, so like a kid could actually take an ink pen and just ink in our man empathy elephant here. I don't think anyone else has anything like this either. The brands have coloring sheets, which are pretty basic, but none of them have a finish this comic with us sort of sheet. So that's fun. I figured why not? If we're gonna do it, why don't we just do something a little bit unique? Wanted to pick something because if I want people coloring this, I wanted some nice bold lines, but I also wanted people to be able to color, you know, with multiple. If kids want to do purple ice cream or, you know, whatever, and nothing like too big because it takes, you know, a lot of time. Maybe that's a little too intimidating for a kid too. Like if something looks big, they're a little afraid to mess it up. But if something seems smaller, then they think, oh, I can do this. It's kind of like life. How do you eat an elephant, they say. One bite at a time. There's my tip on time for whoever asked earlier. Chubblegum. What's up, Chubblegum? Over here on the VeeFriends channels, man. He sent 102 lightning bolts. Thanks, Chubblegum. I don't think you ever answered my text, bro. Like, I wanted to get together. Gotta make it happen. Us artists, we suck. We suck at getting together. Right? Footprints in the peanut butter. I just need a little more. You like the lo-fi, Bronson? Yeah. I just need a couple more tracks because I think I put 4 tracks together and they repeat, like the same 20 minutes repeats. I need a little bit. Maybe it's just because it's repeating for me. I hear it and I go, it's this one again. It's fine. Lisa said, you are very talented. Thank you. Yeah, keep it chill. Keep it chill. activity sheet for in-person shows. So we'll probably have this at some shows coming up soon. Announcement coming soon, probably, you know. Wherever I'm at, you'll probably find a sheet like this. What's that? A straight line there. Little straight line. That messed me up. All right. Little shadow under his belly. What else? Oh yeah. Thought wrong mentioned the little thumb. It's kind of a weird. If you see like. I think I'm just gonna leave it like that. He doesn't really have hands per se. He's got more like these like nubbins. Which, you know, you gotta kind of use your imagination a little bit about how you would make it work, but yeah, I gotta have something holding it. There you go. Probably like ice cream. Flying off over here. Just something a little interesting to flip that space. Something that someone can grab a Sharpie and just Sharpie in. Man, empathy elephant here. Easy, bold lines like whoop, whoop, whoop. Nothing too complex. Computer wants to update. No, go away. $10:06. All right, cool. So I am going to ink up our man Fox over here, and this little sheet is done. I think the idea. I don't even really want to put the text instructions. There will be like read more comics at VeeFriends.com. The VeeFriends logo is kind of here. It's kind of fun. And then we've had people asking for coloring sheets and things like that. I know they had them in New York, but like people want coloring books and coloring sheets and how to draw VeeFriends. Like that's probably something that we might do at some point. It makes sense, you know, when things make sense. Again, I'm thinking of like people want a little tongue of color there. Again, the fox chain. This is the track that drives me crazy. It's like it's very repetitious. I don't think I listened to the whole track when I put it into the mix. I was like, ooh, this just kind of repeats over and over again. Yeah, they'll be great for kids, but also I think there's comic artists out there that are like, I need some practice inking, you know, you can ink this and color it and do some writing. Like, what are they saying there? You know, like, what are we saying? I'm stuck. I need help finishing today's comic. And he's like, I got you. Let me make a call. And then soon, did somebody order ice cream? And he's like, I don't know how this helps. Or, you know, ice cream makes everything better. You know, it could be anything you want it to be. You tell me what they're saying. That's kind of the idea. It's a little challenge. I only wanted it to be 2 balloons. You could have had multi. You could get too wordy. You gotta just be like, how do you make this end? Right? Challenge yourself to be creative. You're awesome, but I gotta wake up more. Hey, get some coffee. Let's go. I'm DJ, cartoonist here at VeeFriends. I have my coffee. It's about halfway full, so I'm still going. Delicious. Really, really delayed stream over on there, but cool. Uh-oh. Got it. Oh no, VeeFriends down. Be the bigger person hanging out today. Also, there's no right and wrong with when a kid picks up these. You know, I realize there's a lot of white on the fox, but they can color in the background. You know, with some colored pencils, crayons, or whatever. And it's faster for them to do. So it's a little. This will be a little smaller sheet than an 8.5 by 11. This is like half of an 8.5 by 11. So it's a little bit less intimidating for, you know, something they can do quickly, and kind of feel like, wow, I did that. You know. Maybe we'll make a gallery. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm not making promises, but if people send in pictures of their comic, we can have a gallery somewhere on the website that shows like always like the eyebrows to leave the head. It's something that I do. Becomes a little more expressive, I think, cartooning wise. What's he saying? I don't know. It's up to you. Use your imagination. I'm gonna put some. We will do those action lines in ink. Do that. I dig it. I'm going to put a little label here of their names. That's one thing I didn't think about with his. Do a little surgery on this real quick. Come on. Little surgery. Just because I wanted to have some room for. It's probably even better that that peace sign doesn't connect with the drawing board too. So I'm going to move it up proportionately. Yeah, that's good. That's better. I'll turn off the pencils so we can see what's going on here and clean this up a little bit. Yeah, I appreciate you watching, hanging out. I've been live for a couple hours here. Who's on the horn? Okay. Watch those tangents or when lines intersect in a weird way, so I don't like that. I'm gonna fix that. You don't want the characters to blend into each other too much, so we'll just do that. Sorry if the stream picks up anybody doing yard work outside. I can't control that. I could shut my window, but then you'll hear a dog growling at me. You know, gotta pick and choose. Gotta pick my battles. Occasionally there will be like a lawnmower firing up out there or something. Stray marks on his palm? I don't see it. You mean this thing? This is kind of like his bend of his... Although this is really zoomed in too. Like you'll never be this zoomed in on it. Probably the size that it'll be will be something like this. This is like a 5x7 sheet. So if I eye it up, the actual sheet probably, yep. That's how big it'll be. So probably pretty easy to get in there and like color in with some crayons pretty fast. A kid inking this might be a little more challenging for like teenagers or adults, or writing in your own little like ice cream. Ice cream is amazing. I'm more worried about these lines here a little bit. I don't want to overthink it. You got it? Thanks for pointing out. Lynn says she's enjoying the morning drawing. Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate you watching. I'm gonna fix this bubble here. Smooth that out. Yep. And then I don't want to just make a real tiny little speech tail, balloon tail. Do that. That's good. I'm really tempted to black that in, but I think just giving people some room to put a little dot of a crayon in there would be good. It's not how I would normally ink, but even the bottom of the, I'm tempted just to fill that in. I think I might. I'm gonna keep that filled in. Because it helps fill in the area a little bit. That's cool. We'll keep that like that. And then I'm gonna just write in their names real quick here, just in a fun little font. Little hand-drawn font. Have I drawn the chimera yet? No. I haven't. Sure I will. We're getting there. Humble. Hedge. That's right. Who needs Sonic? You got Sonic the Hedgehog. We have our humble hedgehog. Here, he's on the pencil today. He's on the pencil most days, to be honest. Thanks for watching over on Instagram. Hope you like the comic. Like today's comic over on Insta. This is the VeeFriends daily comic that I'm working on. I do have some of the other detailed minis. I have quite a few. I don't have them all. Not yet. I collect them. They're around. I don't know where they're at. We actually have Fox here. He's a little beat up. Fox and Fox. And Hedgehog. Pretty neat that they're both in the activity sheet. So cool. If you don't know, I got a lot of them back here. I just don't want to move them. They're back there. I just like this one because he's bulkier. And this is the second one now that I've beat up. Got the bubblegum version here too. These squishies. Someone showed me that they stick to your finger as well. Like that. Finger puppets. Jeez. See, you can really procrastinate. Where was I? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I'm drawing. We talk about like, just put the camera on in your office and let's see what you do all day. And mostly it's this, but like you might see me like playing with action figures in here or something. Wouldn't that be funny? What is DJ doing with the little, like, is he acting out a scene between Bubblegum Hedgehog and detailed version Hedgehog? Can they sit on top of each other? No. You know. Morning, Lynn from Yolo Yak Country, California. Enjoying the morning draw. Thanks, Lynn. Appreciate you. Morning, Keith, over on TikTok. Yeah, like a totem pole. Could glue it. Could glue them on there. I don't like that F. Move this over a little bit just to center it under his feet. Especially since the characters are relatively new. I mean, we all know them inside of the... If you're new to VeeFriends, let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat if you're new to VeeFriends. Just do a real quick reset here. VeeFriends.com. You can see VeeFriends.com. It's over 280 characters created by Gary Vaynerchuk. You may know him as Gary V. You can see Optimistic Otter here. You can check through all the characters. We also have some merch with all the different characters on them. If you find your favorite characters, there's the digital collectibles, the NFTs. We also have the collectible trading card game. You can always see the Fnatic streams. These VeeFriends minis, which are really cool. Probably one of my favorite things, just because I'm an artist and they seem to fit very well on your pencil. But they're in vending machines around the country in all states. There's a map here on the website. Find a store near you. You can even become a vendor. There's information somewhere on here about becoming a vendor, but that's what it was just showing you, was that there's different kinds that are bubblegum. There's detailed and only 2%, and I don't like this one. This is an alpaca that's a diamond alpaca, but it gets glitter all over me, to be honest. I got glitter for days now on there was glitter all over my wife was like, "You have glitter on your forehead." I'm like, "What? Alpaca messed me up, man." Soon to be a Skylander set, right? Yeah, so anyways, there's season 1 and 2 are out right now, and then season 3 and 4 are coming, and when season 3 and 4 come, these will go away, so make sure you get those. And then of course I'm drawing the comic strip. You can look up in the top corner of the site, hit comic corner, and there's a complete archive of the daily comic strip back from January. You can go all the way back, click on different comics. You can download them in a pretty decent resolution, high resolution, and you can share them with your friends. Please share with your friends. It's a good way to support the comic. It's a good way to support VeeFriends as a whole, is to share the comics, bring new people into VeeFriends. I'm feeling pretty good about this side of the activity sheet. You know, I have to do it. It won't make sense to anybody that doesn't know, but I gotta put the little scribbles, the little signatures on the they almost look like little hairs or something, but if you know, you know. Can't draw them in white because it's a coloring page, but you can just put the little squiggles on there. It's fine. There are no rules. We can break them if we want. Like I didn't put, I'm going to fix this part. Just want a little something extra for the kid to color in on the shoes. It'd be cool to have like a different pattern on the shoe. Let's do that. It's not the shoe that he normally wears, but it's my rougher brush. The rougher brush. Cool. Awesome. All right. There's a little bit of a straight line here. I gotta probably merge these two. That's our blue line. And I'm just going to think about how this might print. So I'm just going to look at saturation real quick. Brightness. I'm kind of okay with it being blue. Could go gray. No. I think it's fine. I think I eyeballed it correctly. It's supposed to look like pencil. The idea here is that people can ink with an ink pen over the drawing and ink their own comic. If that makes sense. stretch them out. Okay. What's next? Oh, I gotta do empathy. I gotta write Empathy Elephant's name over here. I knew I was missing something. Let's do that in blue as well. Empathy. It's a little bit different blue. Shoot. Let's get in here and get the... There we go. It's too straight. We gotta mix it up a little bit. Make it a little fun. Fun little lettering there. Why not? If you're new to VeeFriends, let me know in the chat. Fox came out amazing. Thank you so much. Mary says make it look easy. Thanks, Mary. It's not easy, but I'm glad that I make it look easy. Looking through some comments here. Okay, good. I think we're all set. If you have any questions about VeeFriends, make sure you send us a message, send us a DM. We're always happy to talk about, what do you like about VeeFriends? Well, before I go, why don't we have a chat about that while I'm drawing? What do you like most about VeeFriends? Let me know in the chat. Curious. We're gonna get into penciling this one up a little bit. Let me know what do you like most about the V fam? How would you describe the V fam, Keith? A rescue raccoon? We have a raccoon, but it's not a rescue raccoon. Yeah, good. Odd that you say that because there's a raccoon at my stepkid's house. It's kind of a little baby raccoon. We have a raccoon. This one, yeah. We have a respectful raccoon. He's not been in the comics yet. He'd be fun to draw though. I like his body shape. Little fluffy. Very cool. If you're not familiar, go to VeeFriends.com. Make sure you follow our pages wherever you're at. Oh, Respectful Raccoon is the only NFT that you own. Why did you buy the raccoon over all of the others? What was it about the raccoon, I wonder? Baby raccoons are adorable. They can also become very mean sometimes. Great. Alright, let's just draw this little human here. He's sitting in the known. Kind of in a riff off of our recent Comfort Zone strip. This guy's having a realization moment. Is this all there is? Existential emotion there. Gary was talking about the raccoon like he does the very, very lucky black guy. They are normally respectful of other folks' stuff, but our guy would be flipping his reputation. Oh yeah, I remember that conversation somewhere when he was talking about Respectful Raccoon. He has the shirt too that he was wearing. I think that's really good. It's a good way of looking at it. I want to make this funny. He's kind of sitting in a bed. That's the no. Right. You kind of see where we're going here. Maybe. Heck no. That'll be a balloon. This will be a balloon. You can also see like little behind the scenes. I see this little line here. It's there. And there's a line here. It's actually a square. So what I'm trying to do is for Instagram on the first panel, I'm trying to make sure that you can read that copy, on, at least on the first panel, have things more tucked into the center of the panel, if that makes sense. Thought about having someone underneath the bed, but it's too much. It's too much. We don't want to do that. Some ways I want to try to think not simple, but if you look at the most recent comics, you know, this one took me almost 8 hours to draw, but I put a lot of backgrounds in it. Appreciate you liking it, by the way, over on Instagram especially, but anywhere. But I put a lot of, like, you know, thought, and we did that Monday Mole. Maybe he's got a flower shop there in town. That one was really detailed. Even this one, I saw the comment on Discord, by the way, where, you know, they're going on an adventure with friends, and someone said in the Discord, I think it would have been better had they been on a golf trip and not staring at the sun. That's so true. You know, I just wanted something that was more generally relatable. I guess going on a hike. But yeah, they're just staring at the sun. And then I thought, you know, if we did a remix of the strip, it would be like them blind from staring at the sun for 50 years. You know, that's just how I go off the rails. Like, we need like a cartoonist cut of the comic after maybe a remix. That could be a whole piece of content in and of itself, I think. A remix version of the comic. So anyways, those detailed ones, they're nice and all, but I feel like they start to get a little wordy. So, like, sometimes they get a little